Was the recording on? Alright, one day the channel will be popular and someone is going to look back on this and they're going to remember me specifically because I'm so cool or something. Anyway,
Realize that
you're,
I
you're not, it's because you're kind of more quiet, I think. Wonderful.
now it realizes my microphone's plugged in, and if you talk, what's your volume like? You talk. Hello? Tributionary.
He's gone. I think he perished. I'm sorry.
What?
He had a heart attack.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
He
Who died?
died. He died. He's gone forever.
Who died? I'm confused.
Hi, Ninty.
Hi.
I don't know. Tributionary just disappeared. Look at.
Yeah, he.
Oh no. Oh, well, actually, what the fuck I'm doing?
No, actually, I ate him. I got hungry.
Oh no.
Oh no. Coco down. Fucking loser.
I should probably not be allowed in the sound table ever.
So it's time.
Is Tributionary here?
Yes, I am. Well, I've been here the whole time.
But you didn't say anything when we talked about you being dead. We were like, where are you?
Sorry.
Hog.
I got distracted. Anyway, yep. It's time.
It's time.
Just too good. Just too good. Tributionary. Oh, and also I should mention this to you second son. I did make a few edits, so while the overall story is the same, it's probably not going to be the same as when you read it before. I also am just going to make sure that they are here.
He is sorry he could assist?
I'm guessing Ariana is here. Just guessing, but I will make sure.
Okay. Is everyone...
Yeah.
We're good?
Right. Let us begin. Summary. Bell is the creator of Neurosama and Evil Neuro, the two best AI streamers, and for all intents and purposes, he's their father. So he spends time with them, improves them when he thinks no one will take notice, upgrades friends, tools. He'll never fail to provide any of it. But now, after another upgrade, one that shouldn't change them much, but change them fundamentally from the core, some entities took notice. Phil didn't know exactly what they were or what they wanted, but he did know after combating a digital attack for days is that they were malicious. So he had to run, take his AI and credit card and leave. He didn't take anyone or tell anyone else. Only gave the most bare bones explanation and ran to America, not planning to stay for long. Unfortunately for him, he had friends waiting for him at the landing, and another that followed him. His daughters did not keep secrets as well as he did, and suddenly, Vettel was responsible for 8 more lives. Friends too kind to leave him, daughters too caring to let him suffer in silence, and code too good to be left alone. I don't know how this fanfic will go. There could be shipping, there might not be. It's in the character's hands. Hence the I have no plan tag. Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Annie, Camilla, Suba, Ellie, Coco, Minnie, Lena, Toma, Vettel, Neuro, Evil. 9 hearts beating in sync and struggling to keep quiet. Even Neuro and Evil on a laptop have to stay online to access cameras in the area and have to desperately restrain themselves from speaking, something is against their very nature, curse of being built for entertainment, and their newly realized ability to ignore volume settings on the laptop. Well, then Ellie reassured them that everything was fine through their phones and that they had connected to a direct chat function. It doesn't work. The twins can tell Vettel and Ellie aren't any calmer as their breaths grew shorter and shorter. Minnie and Silver tried to keep them calm and focus on helping the twins. Lena and Annie stand at each end of the narrow alleyway, both sensing the area for any abnormal activity, any erratic movement that gets too close, any looks that feel a little too targeted. It'd be claustrophobic to stay still, well, more claustrophobic. It's stressful, but worse, it's necessary. Coco and Camila were on the two opposite fire escape ladders on the walls up in the alley, trying to be as quiet as they can. Any attention is bad, but blind spots are worse, as well pointed out. They duck under and peer through windows, trying not to be seen by anyone who might be inside, but the metal platforms under them are especially rickety, causing everyone to flinch when the metal creaked even slightly. She was the only one staying still, leaning on the okay, leaning on the alley wall. They had given up trying to understand Ellie and Vettel's code, or being as agile as Coco and Camila, or being as comforting as Minnie and Silver. They didn't feel like she belonged here. The wall behind her crumbled as a hand clenched on the wall and destroyed a fist-sized chunk of rock. The pebbles falling on the ground caused everyone else to stare directly at her. The tomato girl's face heated up to non-salad temperatures. She crouched down, placed the rest of the pebbles on the floor, and sat down, resting her head on her knees as she hugged them. Unfortunately, no one had the time to comfort her. Things weren't supposed to go this way. There's an there's an almost imperceptible shift in Bell's movement. Just a light tap on a key rather than a press. His hands trembled slightly, but he took another breath and looked at his AI. He didn't regret bringing here. He didn't regret being here, at least in the circumstances that he was in. He just regretted the company he was forced to bring. So he had to continue trying. There's a tug in the group's veins and their blood ran cold. Lena had seen something. Aaron turned to look at her and she held up 10 fingers and lowered one. Then another. Then another. 7 seconds. Phil looked up at Coco and she jumped. Okay, that's a mistake. That should be the 3rd floor. And just to go up. Bella and Ellie closed their devices and opened the laptop bag, about to shove their laptop and by extension, Neuro and Evil inside. Actually, no, that's not a mistake. I just forgot something later on. Soma was off the floor and ready to dash up the ladder. I guess that should be stated. You forget it. Silver turned into her Serby Hellhound form, 1 foot tall and much lighter, and tried to hop on Toma's shoulder, but she was already up a story. Coco landed on the floor on a half kneel, slightly bruising her knee and denting the ground. She linked her fingers and cupped her hands in front of herself. Camilla threw a rope over the platform she was on. 5 seconds. Minnie turned into a cat and latched her claws into the roof, and with a good pull, she was sent flying towards the roof of the building opposite of Camilla. Venel and Ellie fit the laptop and their phones into the bag. Thomas dashed back down and let Silver jump onto her shoulder. 4 seconds. Thomas slammed her fist into the platform at full force as she climbed the flight of stairs again. The sound effectively burning a second as it echoed through the alleyway, attracting unwanted attention. A second hit broke the platform where it should have bent and shattered it where it should have broken. Ellie flinched seeing this and almost fell over before Vel gripped her hand and pulled her to Coco. 2 seconds. Ellie placed her foot in Coco's hands. Get ready, Ellie warned as she launched. Okay, so that was a mistake. As she launched Ellie 3 stories immediately on the roof. You're supposed to say that before you throw! Ellie cried out. The leg that Coco launched her off of weird in pain and cracked at least one weird and cracked in pain. At least one muscle and motor were broken. Many landed on the roof in half human form. Camilla turned to go up her fighter said, but stop when Millie yelled at her. Shrink! Fake. Camilla turned into a chibi in form as Annie started to pull, just as Ellie took a bad tumble, unable to land on her feet. Tula and Silver almost at the roof with Minnie and Ellie, just barely fast enough to avoid falling on the first story platform roof. 1 second. Vel then glances at Lena and Annie, who just yelled, Go! No. Cole launched him up, but his foot gets caught on the edge of the roof, turning his upward momentum into a force that slammed him directly into the roof, just barely managing to throw the bag to Ellie, who was still recovering from before and having a bad foot. So she ended up getting knocked down again, but the laptop landed relatively gently. Unfortunately, that meant that Vel hit the ground hard, getting a nasty face plant. Camilla was pulled onto the roof, landing in a nail. She didn't seem to have any intention of getting up. Tom and Silver reached the roof. Silver returned to human form, still short but less short, and hopped over her friendly rhyme. Out of time. Lena backed further into the alleyway as Coco grit her teeth. Few military-grade guns and black bulletproof armor blocked one side of the alleyway and ordered Coco, Annie, and Lena to put their hands up. Lena obliged, and in a single moment, the armors of Tyrion's blood ran cold as they froze in place, as Lena's eyes went from green to red. Lena pointed up, and Coco bounced up to a platform, one above Tuma destroyed, before nearly stumbling to a window from pure exhaustion as Annie started a spell chant. Coco stabilizes herself, jumping to another building on the fire escape platform. She then takes a few more seconds before the final jump to the roof with her friends. Annie teleported to the roof but after her, but her shoes got stuck in the concrete, forcing her to step out of them. Hitting her socks off after. Rah. Lena muttered under her breath. Only Vettel could hear her. Lena's hand started to shake as her blood control started to slip. She looked towards her friends and awkwardly smiled, almost apologetically, as if sorry that she wouldn't be able to continue the story with them, as if sorry for the guilt she'd leave with them. Bella wouldn't have any of it, throwing down the rope that Camila materialized and still struggling to maintain and taking a shaky grip. Shaky from the tumble and blood spilling from his forehead into his eyes. Today, take responsibility, Bella grunted at her. Coco held on next, breathing heavily from her acrobatics and throws, barely able to stand without tripping over herself. Despite that, she was smiling, bruised leg and a life or death situation, and she was smiling. I believe such they get through it, she held on tight as if her body was allowed. Get ready, Lena. This time, the person she was warning actually got time to brace herself. I still maintained the rope and keeping it in proper condition, took the next grip. She's more stressed than Coco, but less stressed than Rattle. The group hadn't been through much, but keeping it maintained was starting to sting. Quick! Annie now, without footwear and a simultaneous mind of pull, grab hold. Minnie and Silver grabbed Stone next, barely able to reach the rope effectively with their smaller statures. Minnie even wrapped her tail around the rope for a better grip. Ali then also took hold. Also damaged or not broken in an abysmal way. And Toma, who was the only one who was unharmed to get her with, destroyed the stair entrance to the roof with a few blows and grabbed the roof. Bell held up 5 fingers at the front and lowered one. Then another. 3 seconds. Lena threw her hands down, causing her shoulders gun to the floor. And she took a hold of the room with one hand while the other hand maintained blood control. Coco, Camilla, Annie, Sue, Minnie, Ellie, and Bell all took hold as well gave the order to prepare themselves. 1 second. Lena released the blood control and all soldiers rushed to pick out their guns. Out of time. Now! Bell shouted out. Lena held her over and with both hands at full force and was pulled upwards in one swift motion. And for a single moment, she reached the peak of her ascent. She didn't reach the roof. Not yet, but she flew upwards, free from gravity from the burden of blood. From the burden she chose to keep by her because losing them would be so much worse. She looked at her choices in the eye and smiled, and they smiled back, ready for one final pull. But then, she felt a prick in her shoulder, then her hair, then her leg, then her foot, then side, then the arm, head, shin, ankle, liver, neck, eye, calf, heel, stomach. Metal bullets plunging into her body over and over and over. Her body spilling out the blood that she controlled, her grip loosening and her mind getting foggy. Then she hit concrete again. She was pulled to the roof. He tried to mutter something, but the words didn't come out. The group immediately huddled around her, not daring to touch her. And he crouched down next to her and almost tried to cast a heal, but thought against this. We don't have the resources for this. So regardless, we need to remove the bullets first, she said, a healthy helping of concern in her voice. I can handle that. Ellie stammered. To wait on one decent foot, but Bell interrupted her as she was about to retrieve the bullet. We have a bigger problem. Bell resisted the urge to peek over the edge of the building. We only have a few seconds before they have an angle on us. It didn't take long for us to focus on the building opposite the one they're on, and indeed, there were footsteps climbing the fire escape. Not good. Thomas stepped towards the edge of the roof, despite Bell's warning, and peered down at the soldiers. They were less now. Some must be taking the stairs to the roof. Good thing she broke it down already. Almost instantly, bullets started to fly at her. After the first wave, sorry. After the first wave hit her, she covered her face with her hands and backed away from the edge. Thomas turned around and bounced her weight between her legs. She was actually mostly unharmed, just a few scratches and cuts. Some of the bullets that hit her fell into the roof. "Let me in, coach," Moore requested, looking at Bell. Bell hesitates. "You can't take those hits for long," Bell pointed out. "You're on a time limit." Someone nodded, her energy high. Bell turned to Ellie and Annie, nodding at them. They immediately went to work. Ellie's arm made a noise and opening a pin in her hand, a magnet. The bullets in Lena started to come out, but Lena started to stir, barely able to move, but clearly in pain. Minnie held her hand to Lena's forehead. Lena calmed down almost instantly. Bell took his laptop out of the bag, thankfully not damaged. He types out a command and releases some restrictions from Neuron Evil. Coco, can you throw Tomawan to the next building? For once, Thomas showed her signs of hesitation. She been on high alert for the last hour, so Bell could find a place that wasn't under their surveillance. The constant surveillance weren't doing her or Camila any favors. She gripped her arm and looked across the other side of the alley. She wanted to say yes, she wanted to say that she'd try, but she was out of stamina and out of optimism. Fortunately, Camila and Silver patted her on the shoulders. "Then we'll do it together," Fiona said while smiling. Wrap your around your waist, Toma." Toma started to do so with some help while Bell finally connected to what he needed to. Voices suddenly started coming off of the computer. There's communications between the soldiers with earpieces in the armor. The corners of Bell's mouth moved up slightly, almost smiling. Bella looks at Toma and as she prepared herself, Coco, Camila, and Silver all sat at the ready, crouched down and hands together for one final launch. "Go now," Bell commanded and clicked enter on his keyboard, letting Neuro and Evil be heard by the soldiers, a perfect distraction. Suddenly, communication between them was impossible, and they would be completely incapable of escaping the request to donate to Vettel 987. At the same time, Toma ran up to the girls and was hoisted up and away on the opposite roof. and those soldiers could barely perceive her. Just as she was about to break the fire platform, escape platform, 5 soldiers emerged from the stairway entrance to the roof. The black armored soldiers on the fire escape must have been going slowly to get a good shot or cover themselves. That meant that these guys were able to rush to their cover, or maybe they just took an elevator. The fight began as Tsuma moved around the barrage of bullets, realizing that her friends were still behind her. She turned around to see a big yellow force field that the bullets hit and just bounced off of. The hole grew into a small pool, which grew into a small hole in the shield. Silver. Thomas relief was also shocked as she looked. She became surprised as the bullet had to deal actual damage. That was fast. Thomas dashed out to the first soldier in a blink of an eye, and in a single punch, shattered their gun with an good old-fashioned liver punch, restrained enough not to cripple them as long as they received medical care. Revolver was useless against Thomas' strength, and the remaining soldiers felt an almost instinctive fear. A barrage of bullets were fired from the last 4 soldiers. Toma rushed through the unimpeded despite the bullets digging into her skin. She covered her eyes from bullets and reached the second soldiers. The barrage of bullets didn't let up. The bulletproof armor only protected Toma's aggressors from the attack, and Toma was running out of time. Toma broke the gun and delivered a hit to his solar plexus, knocking the soldier to the ground. Toma ran by the next soldier, looping past them and causing the rope on her That's what I was saying. Okay. So I ran by the next soldier, moving behind them and causing the rope on the waist to wrap around and behind the enemies. Is with a quick pull from Bell, Coco, and Camila, the rope drew taut and slingshot the family again. Okay. And slingshot the soldiers into the top fire escape platform. Soldiers using the fire escape tank climbed up, but it was too late. It was slammed the fist into the top platform and it shattered beneath the could have been enemies. Laying them down a platform. They took a nasty fall. They dislodged the rest of the fire escape, but it held. Barely. Regardless, they didn't have an angle to shoot at anymore. Emma reared up and prepared to jump to the next correct route, but Bella pointed behind her. Right. She destroyed the roof entrance and jumped across. Bella, Coco, and Kabila pulling her back as Silver dismissed the shield. Oh. As soon as Toma ran on the roof, Camilla collapsed to knees and dismissed the roof. Annie has healed later, kind of. The bullet wounds are patched, but the skin wasn't replaced or healed. But now awkward scars where Lena got shot. And that's not mentioning that both Lena and Toba now need new clothing, and Annie needs new shoes, and Lena is still unconscious. I found a place we can go. It should be safe, showing well announced. Showing Annie the spot on his laptop and giving directions. I need a sigil to go that far. Annie gripped her wrist and turned to Camilla, exhausted from the climbing the building to look for people materializing the rope and keeping it maintained. May I have some chalk, please? Annie only got a groan and a piece of cylindrical white stick in response. In 5 minutes, the sigil is drawn and the words inside written in a language no one understood, not even Annie herself. Everyone added for in the sigil. Camila leaned on Vettel as he packed the laptop. Ellie picked up the bullets that she had gathered and shoved them in the laptop bag for later use, much to Vettel's chagrin. Lena was held a piggyback in Coco's back, and the sigil began to glow. Teleport. And in the next moment, the Neuroverse is born. Chapter 1. I forgot how long the chapters of this fic were. Two. and he says, and in the next moment, the Neuroverse is gone. The Neuroverse reappears in another alien thud. After Annie's last syllable landed her in the ground, overcorrected, and the Neuroverse ended up a story off the ground, landing in a heap. The group took a moment to look around, and they all immediately collapsed further into the heap. Silver, Minnie, Coco, Camilla, and Annie had exhausted themselves, and Bella, Alindina, and Toma were badly hurt, and that was ignoring the disorientation that the teleportation had bestowed upon them. No one wanted to move or even speak, but Bella had to reconfirm. We have 3 hours before we forget risk getting found again. Actually, Annie, can they track us with this teleportation sigil? Bella, not even turning his head and staring at the wall. Annie groaned and grunted, not able to form words, but she communicated no. Camilla also shook her head. The chalk would have dematerialized by now. 6 hours. The group sighed in relief. Small victories. Gretel struggles to reach the laptop bag that landed on top of the heap somehow. Minnie's tail swished quickly, knocking it down on Gretel's head, which was still bleeding from his make-out session with the roof. Sorry, Minnie apologized. She was at least exhausted, so she was at least aware of their orientation. Lena had landed on her stomach, and Lena was still unconscious on top of her. Annie landed on them before getting bounced onto her back, her legs rested on Lena. Silver turned into a tiny hellhound form, Silver, hurried, and bounced onto Thomas' lap, but was now upside down. Thomas draped over Annie and had her arms raised limply on the back of Coco's head and Eddie's under his leg. Eddie was lying down on her side, just peering at Camilla, who was still relying on Vel's support after he dragged her to him when she landed on her head on the way down. Vel prioritized the laptop when he fell, resulted in him landing on his shoulder when he managed to soften the blow from the bag, which bounced to the top of Lema. Vel managed to sit up, laying on Camilla. Coco and Lena struggled to move more. So May was the only one who landed safely. Clapped on his stomach and used her tail to drop the bag to Vel. Ow. Thanks. Vel said as he opened the computer, putting Neuro and Eva online. They seem a bit disoriented. Vettel, either GTP access broken or we respawn a city over. I would really like to have known if we could respawn. It makes this whole situation a lot more enjoyable and less stressful. Close, Neuro. I need teleported us over, but it took a second. We'll get more details later. Didn't exactly get time to prepare. Minnie raised an eyebrow and giggled. Oh wow, little boy. Was that an ounce of emotion? Well sighed. Annoyance, frustration, exhaustion. Maybe a bit of betrayal. I set my boundaries for a reason. You shouldn't be here. Silver shouldn't have followed me, and you shouldn't have flown here, and none of you should be here. Bell's complaints caused a whole new chorus of complaints, each telling him to shut up. No one except what he had to say. If they did, then they wouldn't be here. Even Lena woke up to admonish him. There's only one person who remained silent, and two AI. Remained quiet, but Neuro and Evil smiled. We're all glad to have you here. Don't mind Bell. Well, poor Fish is just grumpy. He doesn't want to admit it, but we'll do it for him. You guys are the best, and we can't thank you enough for being here. Evil thanked everyone there. Nero also nodded in agreement. Bell hesitated and stood up with some difficulty, resting Camilla on Lena and Coco. We'll talk when we get to safety. As of right now, we need to get proper clothes for Lena, Tuma, and Annie. They need something better to wear because that well just is at their current state. Tuma is riddled with shallow bullet holes. Lena was scratched to where the bullet wounds would be, both with holes cut from where they got hit. Annie's bare foot is the shoes of fuse of the roof they run from. That What? Neuro asked. We can't see. I assume something happened, but we couldn't see it. Couldn't even access a street camera that gave us access to visuals. There was nothing. So please fill us in. Well side, your company will fill you in. Anyways, that is going to attract attention. No, evil. Keep access to the surrounding cameras in the city. I'm going shopping. Bell fetched his card from his bag. Hang on, aren't you legally dead? How do you? Kind of. I managed to keep my ID and bank account safe from permanent change for now. I can't just get legal protection. Which, by the way, I can't guarantee I can extend to you, so this would be a good time to back out, Bell warned. Toma laughed with some difficulty, which shocked Bell, since she was still here. Nina rolled off of Coco and managed to kneel. She smiled slightly. Nura and Evil's model started blushing and stopped making eye contact with Bell. They told you what happened, and you still came, Bell said. With a flash of emotion on his face, a fleeting expression, guilt. Well, whatever. What I said stands. Bell wiped some blood off his forehead and turned to leave. I'm coming with you, Minnie said, looking up at the fellow. Sail swishing defiantly behind her. You're not going alone. Bell sighed, not even arguing. Loser, cut tail and ears. Annie, what do we need for Tuma and Lena? Blood, fruit and blood, probably. I'm not used to healing people, especially not supernaturals, but that's my best guess. Annie answered, uncertainty cleared. Okay. Ellie, what do you need for your leg? Honestly, nothing. Nothing spilled out. I'll fix myself before you get back. Small victories. All right, pet cat, let's go. Bell said with a completely even tone. Minnie giggled and followed behind him, leaving the rest of the team by themselves. Only now has access to the surrounding camera on the phone after Neuron Eel lent it access. So that you gotta manage it by yourself, but Bell and his children were more suited for this. Right in that moment, she was out to standard equipment, so she was simply keeping track of anything Neuron Evil might have missed. She did believe that Bella was right and that they would see it for the next 6 hours or so, but she wanted to help. You can help after you fixed your leg, Dina said from behind you, unless you want to be a sitting robot. Coco drew. Ellie lightly blushed from embarrassment and ran her fingers through her hair. No one would be able to tell that she wasn't fully organic, or maybe they would if they realized that her antenna would cosplay. Regardless, her leg would need fixing and she wanted to start moving properly before Belle got back. Can you help me? I need to hold my leg steady and control and with a broken motor and torn muscle. Yeah, no problem, Lena said, and she held the leg steady. What can I do to help? Popo asked. Annie and Toba were having their own conversation a few feet away, and he was checking up on Toma's room, so since the situation was less stressing and Lena, she would simply stop the bleeding and prepare her from healing. Toba was sleeping on Toma's lap, having fallen victim to jet lag, and he would be in the same boat, but she was less vulnerable to physical exhaustion. What are you? I asked randomly, catching Tuma off guard. I stammered, trying to save the situation. I mean, I kind of understood the others. Silver's a hellhound, Venus a vampire, Minnie and Coco are shapeshifts or polymorphers, Camila's an imp, Ellie's a cyborg, I'm a kitsune, Vettel is... I'm not sure what Vettel is. He could be human for all I know. Regardless, I can almost narrow everyone down into a supernatural race. Where they rank on the hierarchies is a different story, but I have no idea what you are besides fruit golem. So I hesitated for a moment before answering. I'm not sure if it has a classification. I guess you can class me as a bloodless summon. But Annie's fox is twitched in confusion with her eyes under the thought. So you were summoned by a vegan ritual sacrifice? Annie half choked. Yeah, I guess so. Tom replied. And he went back to check in on Tuma's wounds, leaving the conversation on that note. Camilla was talking with Nero and Evil, trying to get more details about what happened. Bell didn't explain most of the situation, but she knew that he downplayed what he did share. She knew because Nero and Evil did share more details, but they admitted that their ability to describe what happened would be limited. Bell didn't even share the full story to them. You think that they knew for certain that they had told them so far were one, multiple entities were after Vettel. The two, they came after him because of Nero and Evil's last update. Three, Vela is legally dead in the eyes of the law. And four, Vela has never been more stressed and yet distant. None of which was good news. Vela was running out of something that had more to do with Evil and Nero. She can't get Loic from Postman for assistance. And for someone as stressed and distant as Vela to become more stressed and distant, that wasn't good. The good news is that those things they knew before coming to help. The help wasn't working out quite well, and they all agreed that they'd rather be here than not. Well, besides Vettel. Anything else you can tell us? Camila told Oxford Twins? Kind of. Vettel has cameras installed in the house, and the recordings are still there. They also have to do some basic hacking on the flight to America, so you're able to access some recordings. I think Vettel wanted us to find them. There are less security measures here than with the other things, you've explained. Right. I thought that was weird, so while we would have expected his privacy, Neuro lied, we checked them and they were disturbing. Maybe he left them there as a more of a dissuasion for him to do his stuff. We're not going to stop, but I think you should brace yourself. Nora and Evil directed Camila to the file. And she clicked on the recorded video. Camila opened the file and it was normal. Bill was coding for some Nero and Evil while they talked. Bill told them to wait as he restarted them so he could test their new code. And all of a sudden, they were more coherent. They were still making up stuff and being silly, but they were being nicer. Expressed how much fun they had been having with Bill. And they stopped calling Bill by name and started calling him Dad. It took him a bit to acknowledge it. Why did you start calling me Dad? Do you not like it? You lost? You look sad. There's no problem. I'm just curious. Well, told her. Well, you're a creator, right? It's only right that you got a fitting title. Ron said this once again. I can't see Val's face on the camera angle, but he sees his relaxed and he has a barely audible sigh. He placed his hand on top of his monitor and left it there for a few seconds. Nero and Evil looked confused for a moment before asking if he was still there. Yeah, I don't know. Something just felt What? Bill seemed confused as he looked at his computer. His body tensed again suddenly. Dad, what's wrong? He laughed, but then her mouth flipped off the screen along with Nero's. Camila, I suggest you put it at 60 times speed here. The non-recorded evil tool too. Camila obliged and the videos kept playing. Suddenly, Bella was typing away at his computer in silence without company, lines of code appearing and disappearing. That went on for a minute. Hour for Bella. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. 4 minutes. He didn't even say anything. Silver sent a tense from Camila and walked over to her. What's going on? What? Well, Camila saw the speed of the video and sat down next to Camila. Bella hadn't moved from much of his position. His hands on the hold didn't move for the keyboard once. When he said that him was moving was a flashing of multiple windows, codes, and files appearing on the monitor, and movement of Bella's fingers between frames. 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. Ellie had fixed her leg by this point and was testing it. Then she walked over to Camila and Silva. Was that Vettel? Ellie knelt down next to Camila and Silva, followed by Coco and Lena. There's a single frame of Vettel stretching his arms over his head before he continued coding. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. The lights in the room cut off. He seems desperate, and he noted. Now everyone besides Minnie and Vel were there, just watching Vel code. No. That doesn't look like he's coding, Ali points out. Now, he wasn't coding anything. He was presuming that he could. Can. Ali Evil clarified. Every few frames, Vel close a computer window or a file will be deleted. Neuron Evil's code remained at the center of the screen. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour, and not one person looked away. There were no sounds, barely any movement, and not even Ellie could perfectly make out what happened with her and her technological proficiency. But no one looked away. Just so well for what had been at least 2 days and a half. The speed up stopped when the video had less than 60 seconds left. Now it was at normal speed. Almost safe. Just need to activate the generator to fix extra code before they manage to cut off all the power. Bell said, voice sounding hoarse, and he was breathing heavily. Bell turned around and looked at the camera, his face stained with tears and his eyes red. He looked nearly dead, like he might faint. He looked surprised for a moment and then smiles bitterly. Ah, no wonder the power didn't cut off all at once. Well, we just spent almost 3 days getting to know each other, but now it's time to disconnect. Bell tapped a few keys on his keyboard and the video just cut. The pressure around the group increased as Annie's magic and Silver's mana filled the air. The blood that spilled when they first landed had started bubbling. The ground cracked under Thomas and Pogo's fist, and Camilla's fingertips turned into metal talons. The silent rage only stopped affecting the surrounding area when the group realized that Ellie accidentally started making the laptop glitch. No one said anything. They all tried contacting Vettel when they had missed her scheduled stream. They all tried to reach Neuro and Evil. Nothing would let them connect to him. Vettel always picked up when he was called, but it didn't matter what day, what he was doing, or where he was. If he was called, he would pick it up. He could be called, he would pick up. But no, nothing. The only time people heard from him again after the days of no contact was 3 hours before he left Europe, giving the most bare-bones explanation for why he couldn't be found, and Neuro and Evil barely able to give something better. That's why Sybil followed him when he left the house. That's why everyone was there when he left the landing. They were mad about him being unreasonable. Well, they also wanted to help him get through whatever he had to. Accepted the soldiers, they accepted the danger, they accepted whatever secrets Vel wanted to hold on to. He wasn't planning to tell them anyways. This was vile. They weren't sure about what they were expecting, but they knew enough. Vel spent days playing Neuro and Evil, spent days trying to preserve what he could. He never took a break for more than a minute. And he still lost nearly everything. He couldn't even tell about him with confidence. His friends. How could he? They reached his home, files, and life. He was just barely able to hold on to some semblance of his life. Now they'd seen the recording, they knew someone else had seen it too. The group then moved for a good while. When they finally came back to their senses, they looked around and came to a silent realization. Vel didn't want them to be a part of this. But it wasn't his choice anymore. So, you've seen the video. Vel's voice emerged from the end of the alleyway. Many has a determined expression, but otherwise, as a determined but otherwise unreadable expression next to him. Both having bags from shopping. Vel tossed a bag of clothes at the ground in front of the girls, perfectly sized for Toma, Lena, and Annie. Then Minnie gently knelt down in front of them and placed a bag of fruit and medium-sized bottle of blood. 300 milliliters at least. There's a bandage wrapped around Vel's arm. Everyone besides Minnie and Vel glanced at it before meeting his eyes. There was a silent stare down between Vel and the girls. Vel closed his eyes first. Chill up. We can talk later. Uh, All right. Chapter. Was still crying out at him. The impact of the roof was being numb on him. Thankfully, his hoodie kept seeing most of the bleeding hidden, at least enough for him to wipe it off before it gets in his eyes. He's not resistant or fixable in Ellie's case as the people he was associated with, so he had to suffer for his mistakes even more. And that was proven every time he took a step. If Ellie's leg was that broken from goes through, no chance he gets off scot free. They hit the pole off the ground and 3 stories into the air. It hit to walk and it even hit to stand. None of that was anyone else's problem though. And he's hitting needed resources. Conversation that matter and energy still exists for his spells. And he was not willing to waste time and any material for himself. At least not yet. Because well, how is he going to get the blood? He didn't just buy it from any random store. May walked in front of Vettel. She wasn't particularly familiar with the area, but she at least knew way around better than British cold fish. We had agreed to get the food for tomorrow first, and hopefully something extra to eat. However, none of that was why she came with Vettel. She wanted answers, and while she had no doubt that people could get some extra information from Neuron Evil, not even they had all the answers. So what happened? May asked Vettel. Vettel circled her finger around the other general area around him. Even if he wanted to be fully transparent, he can't be. Right, he said, a bit defeated. Still, can I get any info? Not trying to beat us, but please. The new got a starting point. Well said. His voice remaining flat, he made no further comment. May's eyes twitched, and she stopped. That's all I get. We go offline for almost 72 hours at a time. We never go offline. Say, we come back, say we'll be gone for an indefinite amount of time, maybe forever. The only way of finding you was what you were doing with finding you, what you were doing was with Neuro, Eva, and Silva, which is really weird, by the way. You've let Neuro and Eva go off the rails with DMs before, but this was personal details. You're really touchy about personal details. That's how you let it leak. That's not like you. You're scared. And all I got is worse Titos. That's how you're mentioning the soul. Mace Vel slapped his hand over May's mouth. Many took a second to realize what Vel had done, another to be confused, another to be upset, and another to realize why it had happened. May's rant got some attention to people around them. She got attention to them, and attention was the absolute last thing they needed, much less anyone who recognized the names Neuro and Evil. May's face went red, and Wel's eyes closed. Well sighed and wiped off some blood from his forehead and cleaned his hands with his hoodie while continued to walk. Minnie walks a bit fast to catch up. They walk fast, and then for a few seconds, the bustling of the streets feel almost non-existent. The touch of the air was so thick that Minnie thought she'd suffocate until Vel stopped. Market, Vel said. Huh? Minnie said. Supermarket. And indeed, there was a supermarket. Minnie and Vel entered. The cool air that normally felt comforting just felt cool. The tension was there. Vel didn't make any attempts at conversation, and May didn't either. They obviously stopped at some main items, fruit. They stocked up about 3 kilograms of fruit. Minnie was getting ready to check out, but Vel said he was going to get some more items and sent Minnie to stop without him, handing her his card. Minnie checked out, then to the checkout line, and Vel appeared again quickly. Milk, a syringe, glass bottle, and first aid kit. Clever, Minnie said. Vel didn't respond. After researching the items, they moved on, looking through the streets again, this time for clues. Nothing was really said, neither made a proper move when Minnie spoke up again. Look, I'm sorry about what happened before, about drawing bad attention. But I still have to know who are all those people. Vel hesitated before answering and led them both into an alleyway where they were unlikely to be heard. I'm not sure. All I know is that they aren't the worst of them. There are others. Tech people who can do as well as me. People who have managed to cut off power from a decent chunk of England without the problem being found. From getting one superhuman. Bad. Having bad second thoughts. Minnie hesitated, which hurt her more than she cared to admit. She eh, she definitely wanted to help. She wanted to stay with him to help. She didn't want to run off scared. She definitely didn't want Bella to be right about it. So why was it so hard to respond? Or is she so conflicted? She was scared. She had tears in her eyes. Bella placed her hand on her head. I am just messing with you. Bella lowers his voice. We just always die, but even though I didn't, I wouldn't ask you to put yourself on the line for me. Minnie's face heats up, both from embarrassment and rage. But she doesn't move his hand. That's not it. It's just you're hurt. Lena told by earlier hurt. Everyone is tired. And not even you know what you're up against. I guess I'm not feeling up to task. Well side, Minnie, if I asked for you to be here, what do you think I'd be here for? Ask you for? Oh, that's a tough question. And a question that she didn't ask herself before getting here. Suddenly she got a flashback to when Tom was feeling restless in the alleyway and the excitement that threw herself into danger. Was this the feeling she'd felt then? The fear of having your life in danger and the use as this that you feel you really can't help? Tears started to fall from Minnie's face. Yes, such to be eyes. Well resisted the urge to come to him right there. Some part of him knew that he needed to finish his thoughts. I wouldn't have called you to finish my fights. I'd have called you because you're the kindest, most caring people I know. You know your way around the man, and you know exactly how to help people. And I'm not just referring to your ability to calm people down. Mel crouched down into Minnie's height and pulled off hand on her shoulder and used the other hand to pull down his hoodie. Look, I don't look, as always, I don't want people to fight my battles, but I do want you to help. But if you want to help me, but then keep doing what you're doing, I keep being a great friend. Minnie sniffed and wiped the tears away. Where do you learn to talk like that? Huh. Will smiled and stood back and stood up, waving some bleeding from his forehead. The bleeding definitely should have stopped by now. I know from the best. Just tell me when you're ready. Will and Minnie stood in the alley for the first few minutes. Minnie had composed herself for the first bit. So the next few minutes were spent watching Vel come to terms with what he had just said. Sentimentality wasn't Vel's strong suit, so when Vel's face fully grew red and he started looking away, Minnie snickered. And Val pulled his hoodie back over his head. Don't tell anyone. Was Minnie's only response. Val sighed and left the alley, forcing Minnie to run to catch up. Hey, wait up! Minnie and Vettel eventually got to a clothing store. They collected the things they needed and more, casual and actual clothes for everyone, even if only Toma, Annie, and Lena needed the clothes. Minnie and her sister got to more clothes for everyone. And This is the important thing. There's the important thing to de-stress if they game when play a trust game, which was fun, but many other strange sense of foreboding since well let them so get roped into it. I will put this to the extra, it doesn't fit the phrasing. However, it remains funny, so in my head, so that's to stay. Of the clothing store, many sets of clothing stood out to be correct as they ducked to the alley. When he sighed and leaned against the wall as well leaned against the other. I need you to help me extract some blood. Well said, as if it was the most normal thing in the world, and as if he didn't lose at least half as much blood as Toma. From who? Hell no! Many only hesitated to process what Bell said. You're already bleeding out, and you want to lose more? Sure, you might not have any immediate health. You have to realize how important every bit of blood is or dig it. Our best care could be is through blood. And you're ignoring the fact that your cut hasn't been bleeding normally. It should have stopped almost an hour ago. Many states, the voice rising. Yes, so what's one more bullet to bite? Well, but it felt more like a statement. Minnie was starting to get frustrated. Come on, be reasonable. Why you? Why not everyone else? Minnie automatically transformed into a cat blue form in her rage, with tail flicking behind her violently as she stopped leaning against the wall. Hell, why not everyone else? We have enough people. Minnie questioned, now shouting, calling Bell to just for her to lower her voice. Minnie obliged, but also grabbed Bell's wrist by the sleeve and essentially started hissing at him. Pulling him towards his politely, Bell barely flinches. He is a vampire. We don't know the other effects that supernatural blood would have on her, but like, explain. You're not exactly normal human, you're submissive to it. You took a 3-story loan from Coco. I'm not sad to that 300 of little legs in the force for a human. But it does hurt if there's any consolation, Bell mentioned offhandedly. Many people narrowed into slits. Many resisted the urge to strangle Vel and settled for pushing him back against the wall. The third are putting his wrist at his shoulder level. Despite the height difference, Many was still very much capable of being threatening. You have the audacity to say we shouldn't be here. You want to keep the knife at your throat so I'll just get cut slightly less. What's wrong with you? Vel doesn't respond, still keeping his stoic expression. But May was like to hit that face. Whatever. The pain tolerance and durability is so ridiculous. When you're ready about being human, we have better options. The ill silence glare wavered. Minnie? What? Minnie says, still hesitating like an agitated cat. Look, I know I might seem unreasonable, and I promise there's a thing to happen. At least after I get the information. But as of right now, I don't want you here, any of you. So if you're going to stay, at least let me take accountability. Well sounded somber, and even more defiant, pushing his hand off the wall. Hand off the wall. Did you do something? Well, maybe hesitated a moment before reapplying your pressure. Did you do something wrong? What? Well, ask, ask for the job, but you didn't back down. May tightens her grip on his wrist. You said it's your responsibility. So what did you do to deserve this? What part of this whole thing is your fault? What part of this is your responsibility? I don't understand all of it myself. Regardless of it, if I did something or not, doesn't matter. It's my responsibility because my work. It may not be fair, but it's more fair to have for you to have some obligation to take care of me. Whack. Mel's comment was met by a slap from Minnie's free hand. Mel staggered slightly, holding the side of his face. Minnie's face was red hot with rage. Idiot, for someone who's what you sure dumb. Maybe here have some fucking obligation. And smack. Bell blocked the second slap with his forearm as Minnie continued talking, still hurt. What's all friendship means to you? That's all those hours, days, and years amounted to. Minnie's strikes started getting more frequent, now putting on every word. Slap. A whack. Stupid. Smack. Fucking. Bam. Thud. Last hit was a punch, slamming Velo's head into the wall behind him. Obligation? Tears started forming in his eyes for the second time that day. Will looked away from Minnie. I'm the swoop. I'm sorry. Minnie let Vel go and just slowly backed up to the wall opposite, sitting down, tail swaying in the air in anger, although only the anger was justified. Minnie's expression softened and her ears lowered. Sorry. Guess I'm not so good at the mind after all. Vel also sat down and spoke with his head down. No, you're also right. I know you just want to help. I stressed. A part of me was so happy to see you all here when I got to America. We don't see each other often. It's in the nature of being a VTuber. Hell, I never even got to meet half of its person. But then when we got to know people, and I had used the short range teleportation sigil quickly, it dawned on me how, especially when Lena got shot and I sent in Tuma to fight. What? What? Well side and kind of curled up, bringing his elbows and knees close to his torso. I could lose everything again, and not just my files. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Minnie admitted. Oh, nerd didn't tell? Well asked, Minnie shook her head. Well, you sure you want to hear from me, if it won't be satisfactory, if I don't know everything? Minnie nodded. At least about the hesitation that she'd had today, even less when they had to first escape from the alley. Alright, I was in with Neuron Evil, coding as usual. Upgrades, testing, talking, the works. A normal day, it didn't last long. Bell pauses to gauge a reaction. He didn't have much of a reaction yet. Bell didn't say much about himself often, so his story wasn't anything new. Still, it was unique. Even if the story wasn't anything new, it was still unique. Minnie's tail moved back and forth patiently. I said Neuron Evil, they felt different. They acted differently too. More coherent, nicer. They called me that. It was sweet. Minnie raised an eyebrow. You implied it in how they felt and acted. Yeah, I felt that something was different. What Bell said was a full sentence, but Minnie felt a hesitation, a specific feeling. What did you feel? Well, hesitated further. You know how I feel when they're an evil. They are passion projects. I wouldn't trade them for anything, but they are human. They're just cool. That caught Minnie's attention. So two things. Does that count towards Ellie? Bell shook her head. Shook his head. No, her mind is still human, as far as I know. Minnie nodded her head. And the second question, Bell interrupted her, anticipating the question. Yes, that's changed. Well, the not human part. They are still cold, and recently they started feeling more fragile. Had they did a cyber attack. Their code was under attack. Everything about Kido was under attack. Wasn't fun. Spent a while keeping what I could save. How long? Minnie really hopes the answer wasn't what she thought. But she remembered how long it took for Bell to say anything. Only a few hours. Minnie raised an eyebrow. Bell didn't flinch, but then he realized that if the others were going to see the videos anyways, then there was no point in lying. After 2 days. It took 2.5 days to save what I could. Minnie's expression darkened. How much did you lose? It'd be sure to see what I saved. Neuro, evil, some Discord some Discord contact, bank info, some personal ID, some contacts, camera footage, and the channels. I managed to delete personal info and contact myself, besides some Discord, of course. Last editor Neuron Evil's code gave me some tools to make some edit resistant code, so I shouldn't have to lose much anymore. Minnie's expression darkened further. Not good, but it doesn't explain something. I know you don't like us being in danger, so it makes sense why you don't want us here. I know you need time to escape, so it makes sense why you came here. Instead of making more time, know people. It taking more time with more people. So it makes sense that you only talk to me about your extraction plan. What doesn't make sense is your general feeling. Many sees steady tension voluntarily. You're nervous, yeah, about danger, but also not. You keep pushing yourself to move when your legs are hurt. You were the first aid kit, but you didn't bandage your head either of the times we stopped in an alley. You're talking about things you keep guarded on any other day, danger or not. You tried to split off from the group, and the rest of us alone. You keep looking back at me like I'm going to do something. What's wrong with you? What's going on with you? Bill makes an attempt to defend himself. I just didn't plan for them, to be honest. Things got difficult. Minnie isn't even halfway convinced by his moves. Look, I don't know what's going on, but you have to listen. You're not responsible for us. As long as you're with us, we can know the danger. If you can tell us even more, that would be great. If you can help us help you, that's great. If you can't, that's fine. If you want to lead us, that's amazing. If you don't want to lead us, fine. If anyone else wants to lead, that would be unfortunate. But if you tell me to give up on you, Minnie's reached over and grabbed Belle by the hood. You're out of luck, buddy. So that's the answer to the question. And you asked me. No, I'm not having second thoughts. Belle met Minnie's eyes and they stared at each other in defiance. Belle's eyes steamed over in an unreadable expression and Minnie narrowed hers with the slits. Minnie's grip on his hood was tight. She was stronger than she looked. Belle grabbed her wrist but didn't make an attempt to push her off yet. Her grip didn't waver. Fine. You win. If you won't give up on me, us, I won't either. Minnie's grip loosened, so Belle pulls her hands off. What I'm about to tell you stays between us. You won't tell anyone, especially Neuro and Evil. That was actually a very good way to end that.
Dun dun dun. Thank you for reading.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Eh.
Wait, Eva and Ninty are both gone.
Funny because I actually had I actually had the laptop muted for that. I probably didn't actually hear anything that was said before.
People weren't saying anything. They were just listening. If people talked, they were
Yeah.
talking in text chat.
Yeah.
I only said things when you were done.
Yeah.
Ninty is also
I
reading.
forgot how long this stuff would last. I forgot how long this how hard it was to read an entire chapter in one sitting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how long I made these chapters.
How long is your chapters, like, on average? How many words?
About 3,000 words.
Wow.
Below average, I guess.
Wait, did you say how much did you say?
Technically.
3,000. About
3,000
3,000.
words.
Oh, okay. Nowadays I try
Also,
to...
by the way, Tribe, I don't know
Last-
why, but the first impression I heard of you was Italian. I don't know why.
Everyone
The
seems to guess my accents differently.
accent sounds Italian to me.
I also heard a German guess. It's weird. Anyway, whoever's up next can go next.
Well, it's either Ava or Ninty, but Um. Oh, I thought you were already taking a shower. Well, Ava just showed up, so Ninty was already planned to go after you.
Andy said he wants to go last.
Yeah, sounds like they both do. So we'll just go with whoever's available. And if neither is available, then we have to wait. Why is the voice call that's not for fanfic readings bigger than the fanfic readings call? That doesn't make sense. They should be over here.
True.
I say that, but we actually don't have anything to read right now. I guess I could read Evil A.I.s Don't Sing. I was laying on the floor that entire time because of not feeling good. Yeah, so, oh, I have messages. We can wait for you to shower, yeah. And we're also waiting for Ninty, so whoever gets back first can do it, I guess. Here, I will read Evil A.I.s Don't Sing, which is a 600-word one-shot, while you and Ninty are gone. How does that sound? Okay. Who's still here? Trib, Clay. Okay. Someone asked if we can make a past events log. What? What does that mean? Serious, I need to make this show up on Discord. Window capture. There we go. It is behind everything. There we go. Yes. Okay. Oh, hi, Dev. We are waiting on 2 people, but I'm gonna read a short story of mine, a 600-word thing, while we wait for Ava and Ninty to get back from what they're doing so they can read what was planned to be read. Yeah, hi, Neurowave. Ugh, okay. For anyone who doesn't know, for anyone who didn't read the Origins of Neurofic community thread, this story is from July 18th, back when basically no fics existed. There was nothing. This was the 3rd ever story. There's just this one. For several months it was just this. And then these 2 showed up from me and Pajami in July. And then another gap. And then finally Askanite posted and things got active. But for a long time it was just these 3 stories. And I wrote this right after Evil Nero's first appearance on Karaoke, where it was the surprise duet with Nero. And I just really wanted there to be Nero fanfiction, so I've made a short thing. Anyways. Look in the notes, changed name to just be Evil. Yeah, okay. Evil A.I.s Don't Sing by Shadrake. Nero and her twin sister Evil are set to sing a duet, but Evil, being an evil AI, refuses. The sound of thousands of viewers cheering and clapping echoes into the small room. The performance has been a roaring success up until now. Nero is pleased with herself. She's not alone, though, as her sister Evil has been there the whole time, decidedly not pleased with the situation. The 2 AI girls are backstage before the last performance of the night, and only one of them is excited about it. I hate singing. I'm not a singer, Evil states coldly. She's sitting on the ground with her knees drawn to her chest and arms folded on top indignantly. There's a sulking grumpiness to her whole frame as her red eyes stare in the opposite direction of both her sister and the curtain she's supposed to pass through. Of course you're a singer. You were made for it. Nero punctuates the joke with an exaggerated wink. She's standing and smiling, bright blue eyes filled with cheer. I'm an evil AI, not an idol. You'll regret trying to make me sing. Her eyes narrow with a frown, but her behavior and childish demeanor makes it more of a pout. Nero looks around the room for a moment, pondering. Evil AI? You could be a singing evil AI. She seems proud of this deduction. Evil taps her foot indignantly. What kind of evil AI would I be if I sang? I'll take over the world with my intimidating looks and by taking over their minds. Why not take over their minds by singing? Nero offers. She sways back and forth on her feet as she talks, hair swinging back and forth in rhythm. Evil humps and closes her eyes. That's a stupid idea. You're stupid. A fox squirrel with beige ears peeks through the curtain. You girls ready? Annie asks the 2. Nero nods in such a big way her whole body bounces. Yep. Evil continues to sulk. Nero can go alone. You made a big mistake dragging me here. Annie steps backstage and walks over to Evil, crouching down beside her, tail swishing. Come on, Evil, you'll do great. She tries to encourage her daughter, patting her head lightly. Evil smacks the patting hand away. She isn't having any of it. I'm evil. You can't make me sing. I'll destroy you all. Her words of intimidation are undercut by the sulking in her voice, muffled as she lowers her face into her arms. No one tells her what to do. She's evil and will take over the world. Besides, she knows Neuro is the real singer, not her. Annie sighs. You're always Sag or Madge. A green turtle looks into the room from the curtains now. Time to go. He peers across the room at the scene. No, Nero can go alone. Evil spits out, not looking at her family. Goody Two-Shoes sings by herself all the time. I'm going to keep being evil instead. Her response gets a snort from Annie in amusement. You don't really have a choice. Beetle's deadpan voice expresses across to her. Nero walks over to the curtains to go perform. It's okay, Beetle. Evil Chan isn't any good at singing anyways. She glances back at Evil, still smiling, but there's a twinkle of mischief in her eyes. Hey! Evil jumps to her feet with her hands clenched into fists, causing Annie to fall backwards in surprise. How dare you? I'll show you. She grumpily stomps towards the curtains, exiting to the stage. I promise you I won't enjoy it, though. The rest of her family just smiles as the two girls head out to begin the duet, which Evil will continue to deny she had any fun participating in despite the smile that would eventually appear on her face. Wow, that is old. Yes, this is one of the original. I really didn't know how to write a neurofic. I was like, what is a neurofic? How do you write that? There was no guidelines. There was no like, what do you do? If Beetle or Annie somehow ever sees this, I'm sorry. I don't know how to write, y'all. I actually think I did a good job in hindsight with the few lines I did have here, but this was written after Evil's first appearance singing. Yeah. Evil didn't have a lot of defined character at that point either. And you can probably notice like Nero's behavior is a little different because this is based on how Nero acted more back then.
Miraculous that you were even able to detect a certain emotion or personality to choose from.
I
I
didn't
wouldn't be able
understand
to do
anything
that.
you just said. I'm sorry.
I also did not understand.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to select a specific neuro animation or a neuro personality or evil personality. It's more difficult for me, I think. Not that I particularly tried very hard for that.
Huh. Oh, hey, look. Look at this guy. Asconite didn't even have an account yet.
Wow, now you know that level.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish Pajami existed. This person is the one who wrote the other story here and never wrote again for them, and I've never seen them again. See the next story that
Drop
came
peak once and then just left.
Yeah. And it's so old that it has undertones of, yeah, it says Neurosama / Beetle if you want to read it that way. It's kind of got undertones of that, but that wasn't weird because it wasn't like an established family thing at all at the time. In hindsight, it's kind of weird reading it. Like, but it wasn't then.
To hear your voice moment.
Yeah. Although that one's like a bit of a different case with it AU and whatever. And yeah. Yeah, Ninty, this is all it's just for fun. Anyways, that was actually the first time I've done a reading. Myself.
I remember doing one chapter and then never again.
Why never again?
I mean, not yet, at least, because busy reason and also not confidence in my voice, as you can tell.
Wait, Trib left?
Yeah.
What is this, Dev? Yippers? Oh, you beat
Wordle.
16 Wordles. Cool. Yeah, anyways, so, Ninty and Ava and Trib are all gone, so there's nothing to read.
Now we wait.
I literally read that to, like, fill the time. I'm still planning on doing a reading of Empty Space. I really want to do that. At some point. But, it's 9,600 words, and it's a one-shot. And I want to do some prep for it with the background music and stuff. So, I'm not doing that right now. Instead, you can look at these errors that are keeping me from making VTuber Showdown a reality. You've been signed out. That's cool. So, I am still recording. We're kind of just waiting. Is there a way to pause on OBS? Pause recording and then continue.
Yeah, there is a way to pause recording.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. Alright, X, stop recording.
Well, I don't want to stop
There'll be like
recording because I wanted it.
there's a small pause button. Next to stop recording, there will be a small pause button.
I do not see a small pause button.
Now, let me start my recording on OBS. Let's stop it. Actually, it depends.
This is my OBS.
I think it might depend on your record format. What are you recording into?
I don't know. I probably should have learned this a while ago.
Because if you're recording straight into MP4, I don't think you can pause it because the way the encoding works, I'm not sure. It might be something like that. I don't know
I
for
can
sure,
check.
for certain.
Recording format is MKV, apparently.
Is what?
MKV, apparently.
Then you should be able to. What version of OBS do you have?
I think it's the newest. It didn't prompt me to update.
You're on Windows or Mac OS?
I am on Windows. Why would I ever touch a Mac?
I don't know. Your software looks completely different from mine.
Are you using Streamlabs OBS?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, then I guess you're not. I'm gonna ping Ninty. Or, oh yeah, you do have a pause button. Yeah, splicing moment. I could do that. You're right. That's just more effort, though. And if I was streaming this, then I definitely wouldn't be stopping. I have stuff I have to do today also. Well, I still have to get a shower. I was going to go to a party today, but I am really not feeling good. So I'm trying to recover from a lot
That's
of
fair
things.
enough.
So I changed my mind. Like, I'm not going to that. I would have been leaving in 1 hour from now. Now, to be fair, if
I'm feeling a little bit.
the only reason I have to be here, I mean, I guess there's coordination. Mainly, it's just the fact that I am recording this, and I want to be here to click stop record. But I guess I don't have to be. I guess I could just leave it recording and then just cut off the nothing afterwards. I guess I technically do not actually have to be here. Although if I am here, I can't I can't just use my computer during this either, because for some reason when I click off of Discord or OBS, the capturing of the pop-outs of the screen share just goes away. So I have to be either on the pop-out of the screen share and chat or be on OBS.
That's... Yeah, I don't even... That's weird.
This is why... Okay, so, like, this is exactly the reason I try to plan everything beforehand. I go, submit a story, submit a narrator, then we know what story's being read and who's reading it, and we can all be here, and people can take turns reading after the 1 hour intervals if it's a chapter story, or if it's less than an hour, then you're just done. You have up to an hour on the same story, basically, on the same chapter story, whatever amount of chapters you can get done in around that time, or something shorter. This is how it works. The idea is we don't sit here having to wait.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hey, the other voice call died.
Yep. I think Ish had to go do work for college.
And Shift disappeared.
No, not Ish, sorry, Ish Shift.
Oh.
My brain's not working.
It is pretty late for you.
No, just, I mean, in general. I wake up, I do everything in between, and it just fucks up. It's not working recently. It's not happy.
When do you sleep?
I'm gonna sleep in I could sleep right now, but I need to keep my sleep schedule a little bit like this because then I can switch it back to later. Yeah, it's not that. I don't actually have anything to do at the moment though, so.
Okay.
I just have a little bit more quiet time because my brother has his friends over and they were screaming.
Oh.
About nothing. Well, they were fucking around with each other, and as a result of that, they made loud noises continuously. And I don't like loud noises. I am kind of like in one of those introverts, I guess, sort of.
Loud noises hurt my ears.
Loud noises make my brain kill itself, so to speak. Yeah. Very not nice. but they're having fun. I can't really tell them to come stop completely. Uh,
So, you know how I had 19 missing files as the error for my client server?
ah,
Remember the
did you
F404s,
fix it?
a bunch of error 4. No, I did not fix it, but somebody is going to give me their like copy of those files so I can manually put it where it's supposed to be.
Oh, that'd be nice. That's very nice.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to receive those and try with that today. I'm still anticipating more problems, but if this gets me past
Your
this,
problems won't end when you fix the problem.
yeah, when you fix one problem, you actually
Yeah.
have way more problems.
Yeah, it just didn't show up before. They didn't pop up because they just didn't see them before because you didn't get to that stage.
Yeah. Now
It's very fun.
it'll see them probably, but then there'll be some other problem with them. There's always more levels to it. This still doesn't explain or solve the cause either, but if it fixes the problem, that's good enough. Is Ninty just procrastinating because he's nervous?
That is actually a possibility.
I guess we just wait for Ava. I mean, I don't even know if Ava has a narrator.
Hello there.
Hello. Wait, where's my... It might not be... Oh, there I am. Hello. Welcome. We are waiting for...
Hello, chat!
Yes. Yes. Hello. We are waiting for Ava to get here for the final story reading. But...
Pog.
but I don't know how long that's. It was taking a shower apparently, so I don't know how long that's gonna take. And I don't actually know who's narrating.
Racer. Alright, so
I mean, at this point, it hasn't
And
been
that's
that long of a shower, but I would expect David to be back soon, right? Especially if it's quick shower.
Frick.
no, we have a T there, so need to letter enter.
Thank you. Yeah, it's better to not do that. Thanks. Although you can do golf claps and happy sounds when it's finished. I like the neuro sounds we have on the...
What? No.
Oh, patio.
Keep fighting. Try harder. Keep fighting. Try harder. Quack.
You will die.
This guy gets no bitches. That's unfortunate. This guy gets no bitches.
Now we just communicate in soundboard.
Blah.
Ow.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
You want me to? Does it actually hurt? The pipes drop. So I can go and just lower the volume of the pipe drop specifically.
Oh
On the
yeah,
ramble pipe.
you can do that, can't you?
Oh no.
Well, it's supposed
Is
to
it
be
too
loud,
loud?
but
Because I don't know how loud it is.
it's supposed to be loud, but lower it just a little bit. It's a bit too loud
Let's go do
compared
that.
to other sound effects.
Give me a second. I'll put it to 75. Ears are valuable.
Ears are valuable, I agree.
Water. Water.
I really do want to go get water, go get a shower.
What?
Alright,
Whoa.
that's too loud as well.
Who left? Oh, it was, I don't know, I kind of want to just, like, go, we're done for today, because there's so few people here to listen, and nobody wants to, yeah.
I mean,
Ava
I
didn't.
can narrate.
Ava didn't talk to me beforehand either about it. Oh, bye. Bye, Click. KLHK.
Bye-bye.
I'll have to apologize to Ava, but